It is episode 3 of the Beetlejuice My GM, and at this point, if you wouldn't vote for Beetlejuice for president, I got something to convince you.
Pay the people in New York $1,000,000.
On to our second recap, we have Kevin Owens, our current WWE champion, at 6-2, and he won the Slapnuts MVP last episode. Becky Lynch had not an impressive record, probably our worst record of all our wrestlers at 1-5, but she's our current women's champion and she's a 2-time women's champion. One half of our current tag champs, the show off Dolph Ziggler at 3-5 and he's a 2-time tag champion. The other half of our tag team champions, Chad Gable at 3-3 and a 2-time tag champion. The boss, Sasha Banks, with I think the best record we have. It's between her and Kevin Owens. 5-1, our current women's tag champ. I bring up Kevin and Sasha having the best records of our wrestlers, and I forget about Mickie James. She's 4-0 and our current women's tag champ. Yet another undefeated wrestler, we have Goldberg at 3-0. We have Latino Heat Eddie Guerrero at 2-1, who's your poppy? Walter/Gunther at 3-2. We have Mandy Rose also at 3-2. Newly acquired Trish Stratus at 0-0. Newly acquired Kofi Kingston at 0-0. Will Kofi Mania run wild? Newly acquired Brock Lesnar at 0-0. Will the Beast dominate? Newly stolen from NXT Ivar at 0-0. We have Bayley, who's doing great until Mickie James got into the picture. She is currently 3-4, one-time women's champ, one-time Slapnuts MVP for this season. We have Matt Riddle at 3-4, two-time tag champion. We have the master of the 619, Rey Mysterio at 3-5, two-time tag champion. We have Samoa Joe at 2-5, one-time WWE champion. Every other champion that lost their title was able to win it back. Will Joe be able to do that? We have the Queen, Charlotte Flair at 3-4. We have Peyton Royce at 2-5. It is time to see the male and female Slapnuts MVPs of last episode. That's right, similar to Randy Orton from the last season, Kevin Owens back-to-back MVPs, he just can't be stopped.
Hi everybody, it's me, Kevin.
As for the female MVP of last episode, we got the undefeated Mickie James, her and Bayley continuing the MVP award winning from last season to this season.
What's the matter? Are you scared?
We continue Bayley versus Mickie James. They go one-on-one, and Bayley finally picks up a win against Mickie James after all the losses. Kofi doing some charity. Then we have Eddie. He wanted some action, so we put him in against Ivar, newly acquired Ivar from NXT, and Eddie picks up the win. He's the Giant Slayer. Charlotte Flair does charity. We have Brock making his debut against Samoa Joe, our former WWE champion. And Joe just can't win as Brock picks up his first win of the series. We switched Trish Stratus from good girl to bad girl because we have plans. Rey Mysterio continuing the Walter feud, and just Eddie taught him how to slay those giants. On to NXT, Kane versus Angel Garza. The rivalry continues and Angel Garza picks up the win and grows the rivalry. Shayna Baszler cuts a promo. King Nakamura versus King Janitor, Mr. Higglesby, and Shinsuke picks up the win against the Janitor as Drew McIntyre cuts a promo. Cameron Grimes versus Hulk Hogan, Bandana versus Hat, and Cameron Grimes picks up the win for all hats everywhere. Edge calls out his partner Eric, starts a rivalry. Then we have this tag team yet again, titles on the line. Tamina and Natalya pick up the win, and NXT wins this week. Triple H tells us how to do our job yet again, using call-out promos. We have Eddie saying he's been putting in the work. He wants a main event match, so we tell him, sure, Eddie, you got it. I mean, he did beat Ivar, he beats Walter, why not? Then we have Goldberg telling us he wants to put in a match with Kofi Kingston, tag match, why not? Ray's on a roll against Walter, so we put them in the opening match, and this time Walter finally stops the master of the 619. This is why we turned Trish heel, so she can start a rivalry with Becky. There we go, Kofi and Goldberg versus Chad and Dolph for the titles, and Dolph and Chad retain, starts a rivalry. Sasha Banks calls out Charlotte Flair, starts a rivalry. We're going good so far with rivalries. Brock versus Joe. Joe gets the win back against Brock. And we get no rivalry. Mandy Rose cuts a charity promo. I don't know. Eddie versus Ivar. Give him his main event match, and he beats Ivar yet again. Drew and Roderick continuing their rivalry that just never ends. NXT title on the line. And Drew McIntyre retains by kicking Roderick in the face. Edge cuts a promo. They love putting Edge on promos. Oh, rematch. King Nakamura versus Mr. Higglesby in a tables match. They're just destroying this poor janitor. But Shinsuke gets injured. Cameron Grimes cuts a promo. Kane versus Angel Garza yet again. Can Kane finally get a win? And he can't. Angel Garza back-to-back wins against Kane. Shayna calls out Asuka even though she's the champ. And we have it yet again. Extreme Rules. The tag team that just never ends and they win. NXT still on top, but we're coming up.
I'm the man with the plan.
We have Trish Stratus. We just brought her in, just turned to heel, so of course we're extending her. And then Mickie James, yet another legend. Her contract's running out. Mickey's feuding with Bayley. It's red hot. Of course we're bringing back Mickie James. I forgot her name. Eddie, yet again, another legend. You gotta bring back Eddie. And Goldberg, he's happy teaming up with Kofi, even though they lost. But hey, maybe that's the tag team. And look, Goldberg wants a new... He's happy with us. And then you have Ray hyped for the pay-per-view. I didn't get to sign him last series, but you know what? With all the people that are going to NXT, I think it's time we bring in The Undertaker to Raw. Trish versus Becky, Extreme Rules for the title. Can Becky defend? And she doesn't. Becky just has no luck as Trish is our new women's champion. Mickie James, new contract, cuts a promo. Charlotte and Sasha just started the rivalry tables match, one-on-one, and Sasha Banks just, she's the boss for a reason. And then you have Riddle calling out Kevin Owens. You know, he's back from his rest. We're trying to get Kevin Owens going. Dolph and Chad versus Kobe and Goldberg for the titles yet again. And Dolph and Gable can't lose. Mandy Rose does some charity. Main event yet again. Ivar and Eddie one-on-one. This time Ivar beats Latino Heat. Kane versus Angel Garza, and Eric runs in on Angel Garza, upset that Ivar couldn't feud with him, but it doesn't matter. Angel Garza can't be stopped. Edge cuts a promo. Here we go. They love it. Cameron Grimes versus Hulk Hogan. Hairy Chest versus Old Man Chest. Cameron Grimes picks up the win and gets injured. Mr. Higglesby, no Shinsuke, cuts a promo. Roderick Strong versus Drew. No title on the line this time. And Roderick picks up the win when the title isn't on the line. Shayna calls out Asuka yet again. They love it. They love this tag team title match. Repeat and repeat. Natalya and Tamina win. And NXT is still on top. Yet another legend whose contract is up. Goldberg, I mean, we're trying to get him and Kofi those tag titles, so of course he's coming back. Becky isn't happy she lost to Trish. We guarantee her a title rematch. I mean, that's our feud, right? Mandy's like, why haven't you been using me? And we're like, sorry, Mandy. We'll get you going. Goldberg upset with all the tag team losses. He decides to go one-on-one with Dolph, and he beats Dolph yet again in a great match. And their rivalry continues. Riddle calls out Kevin yet again. This time we get the rivalry. Titles on the line. Mickey and Sasha versus Peyton and Charlotte, and it doesn't matter. They still retain. Starts a rivalry. Kofi Mania cuts a promo. We gave Mandy her match. One-on-one with Bayley. And Mandy Rose beats Bayley. Bayley is not looking good, but it is disappointing. Brock Lesnar does some charity, giving out cowboy hats. TLC title match. Trish versus Becky, and of course Becky loses. Trish wins. No tag team action this time, but we do get Tamina versus Naomi, the classic rivalry, and Tamina picks up the win and injures Naomi. Edge cuts a promo yet again. No matches for Edge. Natalya versus Toni Storm, one-on-one. Natalya picks up the win against Toni Storm and gets injured. They separated the teams and both partners get injured. Roderick and King Nakamura versus Higglesby and Higglesby and Eric wins. I didn't even bring up Shayna calling out Asuka. Drew cuts a promo. Main event time? Ooh, Kane versus Angel Garza. Extreme Rules. Will one of them get injured? As Kane wins in a demented way and injures Angel Garza, and NXT is still on top.
Oh, fuck that. What the hell are you trying to do to me, man?
Triple H says the fans are tired of Goldberg versus Dolph. The pay-per-view's coming, so that's going to end soon. It's fine. Becky, thankful for the rematch, even though she didn't win. We have Chad Gable who's saying he has a proposition. He wants some Beetlejuice action. This was Jinder in the previous season. So we tell Gable, you're going to get it. Hopefully we don't forget. We look at our power cards. We have To the Moon. You know, we have Kevin versus Riddle about to happen. So we look at Riddle, and we're going to blast him high to the moon. At SummerSlam, we're looking to end some rivalries. Mickey versus Bayley, tables match, and Mickey picks up the win, beating Bayley yet again, ending the rivalry. Undertaker makes his debut, cuts a promo. The Boss versus the Queen, TLC match, and Charlotte Flair picks up the win, continuing their rivalry. Brock Lesnar cuts a promo about the country. Little Man versus Giant. Extreme Rules. Ray versus Walter, looking to end the rivalry, and Ray does it. Beats Walter once and for all. Riddle cuts a promo. We're sending him to the moon. The fans are tired of it, but Dolph versus Goldberg for the final time, and Dolph finally beats Goldberg, ending their rivalry. Kofi cuts a promo. We have Trish versus Becky. Don't want the rivalry to end. Title on the line. Mandy runs in, and Trish still wins the title. Hogan versus Grimes, tables match. I mean, hopefully no one gets injured, and Cameron Grimes picks up the win at SummerSlam, and hey, healthy. They have no promos with Tony versus Asuka, Extreme Rules, just a random match. It had no starts a rivalry. I mean, there's that. Kane versus Nakamura, tables match. They're not really doing rivalries, huh? As Kane picks up the win against Nakamura. Here we go, Eric versus Edge. Extreme Rules, he called out his former tag partner, and the former Viking destroys Edge. Roderick Strong versus Mr. Higglesby. Hell in the Cell, and Mr. Higglesby cleans the floor with him. And we're coming right for NXT.
Fuck with me, you die.
We have Ray coming up to us after beating Walter, telling us he's been putting in the work. He wants a title shot. Will it be a WWE title or a tag team title? We don't know. Trish Stratus upset that Mandy Rose attacked her. She wants a match. And why not? Her rivalry with Becky's not over, but we'll give it to her. We love Trish.